Good morning and welcome to Fitch Painting and Repairs Garage. Today's project, let's sell this 99 Drifter. She is fully serviced, fully repaired, ready to ride. Over 500 miles put on it. She is definitely running good, running great. She's actually running better than my wife's bike right now, which is going to go up on the lift after Biketoberfest and get some much needed service work done on it. Some tricks and things I've learned on this one, like deleting that air system, that air read system and all them vacuum lines that are hooked up to this thing. I purged and deleted all that stuff, and this particular bike is running awesome. So any of you who might see this video who haven't seen the previous videos, this bike was a non-running motorcycle when I picked it up a few months ago, and the customer that I bought it from told me that second gear was out. It kept jumping out of second gear every time you shift into second gear and try to accelerate it, pop back out into neutral. And what we found was the gears were worn on where they come together in engagement surfaces. And also one of the things that we did, which is one of the causes for that, is this neutral finder setup that they have on the transmission set on this. It's a series of, it's 3 ball bearings that ride in a groove on the shaft, and the bike has to be in motion. The shaft has to be spinning at a certain RPM for those gears. So basically above, first gear, roll on, so when you shift into second gear, that shaft has to be turning for them ball bearings to sling out so that the gear will slide over. And without, it won't. So if you're trying to shift this thing on the bench in the second gear, it will not shift in the second gear because of that neutral finder. So this bike has deleted. We took those 3 ball bearings out, and now it's just like a normal bike. It shifts into any gear you want it to at any time. So you can push start this bike. You couldn't do a compression start, you couldn't do a compression test, you couldn't do anything with this bike because of those things that were on it. The reed air induction system, and then you couldn't shift above neutral or first. You couldn't shift out of first gear up above second, third, fourth, fifth with that neutral finder. But that's been removed. So this bike is for sale. We're asking for offers on it. It does have a price listed, but I understand what this bike is worth. The market might not. There is a buyer out there who wants this bike, and I'll wait until I find that guy or woman, whoever. It doesn't matter. But there is a few cosmetic issues on this bike because it shows its age. There's some cracking here on the fender. It's all pieced back together and looks decent enough to ride, no problems. There are some other issues on it, some cosmetic issues on the seat. There's some issues right down in here. Hold up. So she's kind of worn. Well, let me get this light on for you. We'll turn this light on. All right, now you can see it. So, the leather's a little worn, but everything's solid, on the bike. The bike is very solid. So she's got a Vance and Hines setup, exhaust in it, hypercharger setup. There is a DynoJet power commander attached to this bike, functioning and working great. All fluids have been changed on this particular motorcycle. All the engine oil, primary drive, the final drive oil has been changed in it. The fork oil has been changed. We replaced the neck bearings and races on this bike as well. As you can see, I've got a set of turn signals now on the front of it. She's got brand new tires. So she's fully serviced and ready to go. The only thing left to do to this is I'm going to change the oil one more time. She's got fresh oil in it from when I did the engine repair, but with the assembly lube and all that stuff, when you put the engine together, it just makes the oil a little dirty. So now that we've got the 500 break-in miles done on it, we'll pull the filter and drain the oil, and we will put fresh brand new oil in this. Like I said, she's got brand new tires, front and back, brand new brakes, front and back, brake fluid changed and purged, engine oil changed, brand new coolant, antifreeze in it, you know, all the fluids, every single fluid in this. Fuel system's been purged and cleaned, the throttle bodies have been serviced, all the internals on the engine have been measured and mic'd and spec'd. Everything is a-okay in this bike. You know, the cam chain tensioners are well within spec on this bike. Everything's running great. There's no evidence of any wear on the inside. There is normal wear on it. This bike is showing 46 and change on the odometer, but we're not sure if that's a replacement or whatever, because the title did say it was non-declared mileage. So we're not certain of what mileage is actually on the bike, but like I said, we did pull the bike down, we did go through it, we measured and mic'd everything, we checked everything. Everything is well within service. This bike is definitely a 100,000 mile bike. My wife's bike, she's got an 07, she's got 49,000 miles on that particular bike, and she is running really, really good. Now, yes, this bike is running better than her bike, but that doesn't mean that her bike is running bad in any way. It still has all the systems in it. So it has the air induction system still installed and functioning on her bike. We're going to go through and delete that. And, you know, just kind of go through and tighten up everything because it's just ready in time for service. So we'll do both. Oh yes, this also has a brand new battery in it. Brand new battery, brand new tires, brand new fluids, brand new shift fork. Second gear has been repaired in it. All that's working. So she shifts, runs just smooth, just fine. She's got plenty of power. Plenty of power. This bike is definitely strong, and she idles and runs great. Hit the key, turn the key on, hit that button, and blah, 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 blah. She just fires right up and idles. Nice, slow, low lope. No choke required to fire this bike up. She is tuned, tip top, running great. So, anybody wants to buy this bike, shoot me an offer, a fair, well-educated offer, okay, people? I don't want none of these low balls and what's your lowest price kind of stuff, you know. Research it, find out what this bike is worth, because it is considered a collector's item. It's the first year Kawasaki produced this classic style bike. Before, there was the 1500A, which was a different style. It was more set up like the Dynas. Now this is more set up like the Heritage. Kawasaki attempted to come into the market to try to buy the Indian name, and they produced this motorcycle with an Indian theme for that design. It didn't work out for them. They produced it for roughly, I believe, 6 years. They produced an 800 version, and the main way to tell the 800 from the 1500 has visible rear shocks. The 800, non-visible. You cannot see the rear shock. It's more like a softail setup. So, this bike, ready to sell. She is very good. And after Kawasaki decided, somebody else bought the Indian name, somebody else decided to build and produce Indians. That particular group of people went under. The Indian bikes were produced with an S&S motor. People just did not like them. And then eventually Polaris bought Indian, and they started producing Indians. So this bike is actually now considered a collector's item. It is a 1999 1500 fuel-injected motor. After they decided not to do this, they started building the classics, and they built the 15, the 16, and whatnot, and they kept going. And they've got many other different styles now. You know, they've got the Vaquero, which is the fully loaded, you know, and they've got all that stuff. You know, they got fully loaded versions, all dressed up. Now the wife's bike, we've got the Quadzilla fairing on it, which has the stereo and speakers and all that. She absolutely loves that. Does not affect the handling of the bike. It is a little heavier on the front end, she says, but going down the road, it is awesome, she says. So, anybody want to buy a Dyna? Just kidding. But honestly, I will sell it to the right person if they want it. You're going to pay for that because that's my daily rider. But I will ride this bike some throughout the time I own it. I don't want to keep racking miles up on it. I am 100% satisfied with the quality of the repair. She is a very strong, good running motorcycle. So if anybody wants to buy this particular beast, hit me up. I'm sure you saw the telephone number posted up there on that thing. So if you guys can, you can call me, text me. Like I said, none of this, what's your lowest price you'll take kind of offers. No. Find out what the bike's worth and give me an estimate and an offer. She's got a few cosmetic issues on it. The longer I keep it, the more I do to it, so the price is only gonna go up. This bike can sell in pristine condition for almost 8 grand. All right? In pristine condition. This particular model is not in pristine condition. That engine is an extremely good running, well-maintained motor. And all the problems that were with it have been repaired and fixed. So, if you want a good riding classic motorcycle that is going to turn some heads and people are going to wonder what the hell it is you're riding, and they're going to ask you lots of questions about it because that's what happens to me every time I take it out. Alright, man, hit me up. Have a good one. And oh yeah, by the way, let's build the business. Let's build the shop. Let's build our subscription followers. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. So let's build this platform up a little bit. And I'm currently looking for another bike to flip. So if anybody's got a bike, it's got a transmission repair that needs to be done, or an engine repair, clutch, charging system, whatever it may be, as long as it's not a total twisted frame kind of situation, we're interested in buying the bike. I don't want to spend more money than it's worth to get it running kind of situation. But if you've got a junk bike that's not worth rebuilding, we are in the market also of looking for some parts for future builds. Just keep it in mind, all right? Have a good one. Oh yeah, and by the way, we're about to go hit Biketoberfest and go for a ride. The wife and I, I'm just waiting on her to come back from exercise. Have a good one.